Good afternoon, Knights, and welcome to the Bind. Today, here on the Bind, we are going to check out the four main stances of German English longsword fighting. Some of them kind of go by different names depending on what version of it you are exactly researching. But we're going to go over the four basics and some of the names that they have, and we'll test them out, see what kind of cuts we can throw from them, and go from there. The first one is called Vontog. It does depict it in a couple different ways, but most of them are shown with the sword on either shoulder, depending on what you like best, and either high on the shoulder, high up at the cheek, or sometimes even slightly higher than that. This allows for a couple of things that we can do with this. First of all, we can come down with our basic overheam into a cut. From here, we can also go into a side heam into a cut, and we can also go into an underheam for an ascending cut as well. And you can do this from either side. You do it this way and turn this way. You can see this side. Again, we can do an overheam or to the side heam for a horizontal cut. And once again, the underheam or an ascending cut. So that is a really basic stance. It's a lot of stance that people love to stay static in when they are not flowing or moving, staying directly in that Vontog stance. It's very comfortable to stand in and move, and you have a lot of options as far as switching stances or cuts from there. The next guard we're going to look at is known as Ochs. This guard is kind of depicted. You get in your stance, and once again, on either side, throw your sword kind of up here, kind of parallel with your head. I tend to hold my Ochs a little out further, a little more outstretched, so I have a good structure. If anything tries to come in, I can block really well. And this guard has a couple really good niche things you can do from it. Obviously, you can kind of come out of here into a Vontog, into your descending cuts, and even out of here into your ascending cuts. But one thing that is really nice to do about it, and we can talk a little bit more about that as we get into our master kites or master strikes. But if you're here, this is a great place to block cuts coming from Vontog in what would be known as the Zornhau. So it's very interesting to use that for this, as well as this is great for a Zwerchau if you're going to the other side to twist and come off, typically targeting someone's head or even blocking a strike from, like I said, Vontog. So once again, along with all of your other cuts, you can do that in thumb grip. Show it to you one more time. Kind of get the idea there. We can go ahead and see that from the other side as well. So we're at the other side here. Have it up here. I'm left-handed, so a lot more structure on this side, but I still do kind of hold it out pretty far. And again, just easily switching to the other guard. And it's not just about switching sides. It definitely can be, but you can use this as a Zwerchau to either get into your opponent, or you can use it as a Zwerchau to cut their blade off and then make another move, right? So very interesting guard in that regard. The next guard we're going to talk about is a Pflug or Plow. This guard is, again, I practiced with this guard a lot when I first started, so it is very much a resting guard for me. I do like to get in it a good bit. So what you'll see here, first from this side, is where, and this is a little bit up to interpretation, but I like to hand down on the pommel, other hand most of the time in a thumb grip or a handshake. I typically like to give a profile of my blade. For me, this helps if I want to go in for a thrust or if I want to come out into a cut. Typically, if I lay my blade back, I don't get as much of protection if other blades are coming in, or if I wanted to pull off some of the other master cuts, which we'll talk about later. So this is your basic Pflug. You can also go what I call kind of a deeper Pflug or a deeper Plow, if you want to, especially if you're facing a opponent that has a lot more reach, whether that's sword-wise or height-wise. Do kind of a tucked or a deeper Plow, where you turn your shoulder out more, you bring the blade more across your body, and you kind of dip your hands way further back. Let's see that from this side, or I'll show it to you on this side. This will be a lot more. So kind of like this. Again, you're protecting your hands a lot easier here, so hand shots are not as prevalent. You do open this shoulder a little bit more, but that's why you bring that blade across to your side here. So that way, if a strike does come in, whether it's a downward strike into you or even a horizontal strike, you can easily go in for that parry, just like you would step and go in for a strike, except you just bend it down into the parry, and then you can follow up as well. So Pflug is a really great defensive stance for reasons like that. If you're facing an opponent that's super aggressive, has a good bit of reach on you, it is really great to get in here, kind of turtle up just a little bit, wait till you either find an opening for a good parry and strike, or when they overcommit, step and strike as well. So yeah, very good with that. As well as that, you can always do the normal things, even from a deeper Pflug. You can go in for a quick cut as well as like an underhand cut into an ascending cut, right? So not only do you have your stabs, you have your good lanes for parrying. You can go in very easily to the underhand to an ascending cut, as well as kind of a quick cut. Very last stance of the 4 core stances that we're going to take a look at today for longsword fighting and fencing is going to be the Fool's Guard, or the Albert, it's sometimes called. Fool's Guard is a you'll see why it's called the Fool's Guard here in a second. Very similar to another guard called Long Point, except instead of stringing it out in front of you, kind of angle it down. And this is why they call it the Fool's Guard, because it's supposed to fool your opponent into thinking that you're making a bad move or that you're not defending the upper half of your body, which are your normal targets. And that way they make a mistake. But what you'll learn here is, again, it's called the Fool's Guard because it's supposed to fool your opponent, but you're not really giving up. You put this down, they come at you, and it's very easy to come out of this and make some decisions. I won't say that it works all that way super well. Again, I would not consider Fool's Guard to be a resting guard, mainly because if you stay in it for too long, most people will try and realize what you're doing. They've all studied the same books as you, hopefully, and they will kind of realize that case. But Fool's Guard can always be bringing in if you're going for a kind of parry and riposte type deal where you have parried a strike, riposted, and maybe parried. Maybe you're coming back to a resting guard like your Plow or even your Vontog, and instead of getting locked straight into that guard and ready for your next bout, you kind of dip into that Fool's Guard, right? And they're like, oh, he's giving me an opening. He didn't quite get back into his resting guard like he should have. He's giving me an opening. I'm going to strike, and then you bat and cut, right? So Fool's Guard, I won't say it's a niche thing, but it is a very interesting one to use correctly. But it takes a little bit of a learning curve. All right, guys, that has been the 4 main guards for longsword sparring. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you want to see the next 4 guards that we have in lineup, please go ahead and give a like and let us know. Beyond that, the next video you can look forward to is our Master Cuts video. That video will be a lot of fun, and I hope to see you guys there.